welcome back to another episode of Publicized Theory Podcast, the place where I talk about self mastery, self development, and concepts that'll help us all become the best version of ourselves. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 10. We are officially 10 episodes deep into PT. Podcast has come a long way, to be quite honest. A variety of different topics I've spoken about since the beginning with episode 1. And these episodes are continuing to get better and better and better. And I'm happy with the direction that PT is going in. Today is another great episode in the fact that we all have good moments in our lives and we all have bad moments in our lives. But how can we continue to be grateful, continue to operate with gratitude, and continue to understand that it all serves a purpose in the journey that we're going in? And how can we maneuver moments in our lives where we feel like we go 10 steps forward, but then we get hit with something that makes us feel like we've taken 20 steps backwards? We've all felt that. We've all been through that. We've all dealt with that. I'm no stranger to that feeling. I've had many moments and still continue to have moments in my life where I feel like, yes, things are finally working out. Things are finally going, quote unquote, as planned. Everything is, for the most part, smooth sailing. At this point, life is lifing in the right way. But then that situation comes along where you feel like life just took a turn. Things are happening at a rapid pace in the opposite direction, and you're trying to understand if it's you or if it's the energy that you're putting out or if it's just something that you have to deal with and go through to learn something from it all. That's why this episode is entitled Taking the Good with the Bad, because oftentimes we will go through life and we will have positive stretches in life where everything is going pretty good. Everything is going as planned. Everything is falling in line, whether it's securing a new job or being promoted or starting that business and making revenue or selling your brand or whatever the case may be for you in your life and what you define as success and happiness and joy and all of those great positive things that you know that you've experienced. And then in the midst of all of that, there are moments in there where you get opposite emotions. You get fear, you get doubt, you get disappointment, you get rejection, you get a whole host of other emotions that are completely opposite to what it is that you've been dealing with for that extended amount of time. Those moments when things aren't going as planned, even though they were up until that point, it's not that your momentum of positivity has ended. It's just that there's another level to that positive momentum that requires a new you. And in order for that new you to blossom into what the next season that you're about to enter requires, you have to go through new situations. You have to be confronted with new obstacles. You have to be confronted with new challenges. You have to be confronted with things that you haven't experienced before. And sometimes maybe you've experienced them already. But there are always lessons to everything that we go through. Taking the good with the bad is understanding that I will win, but I will also lose. Taking the good with the bad is understanding that I will have highs, but I also will have lows. And the defining characteristic or trait in all of that is being neutral throughout that entire experiences. Now, I'll admit, being neutral in every experience in life, in my eyes, is kind of impossible. Because one of the core elements of the human experience is feeling emotions. Happy, sad, angry, depressed, anxious, worrisome, joy, gratification. These are all things that we feel. These are all things that are generated through experiences. These are all things that make life be life, if that makes sense. Because imagine if you didn't feel anything. Imagine for a second that you've accomplished everything that you wanted to accomplish, but you couldn't feel anything towards it. You weren't happy. You weren't excited. You weren't anxious to share that positivity and that joy and that news with your family, your friends, your significant other. I'd be honest, it would probably be kind of boring because in many ways we want to feel emotions. We just don't want to be overburdened by our negative emotions in most cases. We don't want to be taken over by emotions that prohibit us from reaching the pinnacles of life or the places that we define as success. But when I say remain neutral, I really mean that don't allow those moments to sway the journey that you've already embarked on. Don't allow it to derail the end goal. Don't allow it to cause you in that moment to second guess, to change, to switch up, to quit, more importantly, the dreams that you have set forth for yourself. Because in many ways, those highs and those lows and the bad moments are simply pit stops. They're never the destination. And it's easy in life when you're going through those bad moments and you're at that pit stop to make it the destination. In those moments, you honestly feel like you're in limbo. You're not going forward, but you're not going backward, but you're just stagnant. And those moments are not the destination. Those moments don't define you. Those moments are only there to heighten your awareness, to make you more experienced, to make you a better individual, and to provide you with lessons that you can grow from, that can elevate you and your knowledge and your understanding of what it takes to get to where you want to go. So understand that taking the good with the bad is all a part of the process. Taking the good with the bad is understanding that winners at some point in time were losers. No one was, you know, automatically good at something that they found success in 100% of the time. So, this is just a friendly reminder on this Friday to, if you are going through a bad patch, if you are in a somewhat we'll call a negative spiral, if you are in the in between phase of the journey that you're on, remember that it's only a pit stop. Remember that it's temporary. Remember that it is not your final destination. Remember that with good comes the bad and vice versa. There is so much more ahead of you that why allow this patch that you're in to overtake and overshadow everything that's coming your way and everything that has happened to you up until this point. Continue to have gratitude, continue to have the desire for more, the desire to overcome, the desire to succeed, the desire to grow and become a better person, even throughout the bad moments in your life, even throughout the times where you feel like things are not going your way at every which way. And remember that you are a part of all of the elements that encompass the frequency that you give off. Flip your frequency to being positive and watch more positivity enter your life. Switch your frequency to abundance and watch things naturally flow into your life. Switch your frequency into happiness and joy, and like I said, gratefulness, and watch so many elements of your life allow you to feel grateful. With that being said, think about that over the weekend. If you are in a negative spiral, if you are feeling low, if you are feeling down, if you are feeling like you are at a pit stop in your life and you're taking a few steps backwards, remind yourself this isn't the final destination. This is a pit stop. This is something I have to go through. This is something I have to use as a way to build myself up and get better for the next journey, the next sprint. And I'll say this last analogy, that just came to mind in terms of using pit stop. If you're a NASCAR drivers can't go around the entire track without making some stops. When they make those stops, what is happening? They're getting new tires. Why are they getting new tires? Because the old tires have been through so much to get to that point. They can't make the journey. They can't go to the finish line without a fresh set of tires. And in many ways, that's life. When you're going through so much, good, bad, ugly, there will be pit stops. Times where you need to take a step back, think about things, recharge, understand why you're going through what you're going through, learn from it, grow, get better, and then continue on the journey. Again, thank you for tapping in with me to another week of Publicized Theory podcast. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your moment of attention while you listen to these episodes. Have an amazing weekend. Continue to walk confidently in the direction of your dreams. Continue to stay safe. And as always, stay blessed.